Hi, welcome to Ocean Mirror. So I'm just going to give a kind of a small review of Ed Gaines. Um, okay, at the beginning, I would say yes, because I remember putting down in the post about the mental health thing. Now, they did say he did have mental health, which was later on spoken about in the movie and stuff like that. Um, They actually analysed that he wanted to represent his mother somehow. The mother actually did actually mess him up quite a lot. To him that how he couldn't be with no woman and all that. But it just was in the movie there was a lot of fascination with the Holocaust and certain stuff that happened in the Holocaust. And even though he had illusions of the lady he idolized as well. And I also think he was fighting with his sexuality because coming to the end is when like you realize what he was attracted to as well. There's a lot of what's it? I forgot that word. Where they're with their bodies and stuff like that. He, on the other hand, because he seems so softly spoken, right? You'll think that he'll be the leastest person who will be doing what he doing, the way he unalived so many people. One of them being his brother. They say that some parts of the movie is not as realistic to the true to life thing what happened to with Ed Gaines. And Ed Gaines, I feel like most serial killers, sometimes it's like it becomes a trend and stuff like that, where like they'll be buying the stuff that was represented in the movie or the stuff that the killers use and stuff like the lamp that was made out of skin, the skulls that he ate out. The mere fact of it is, and I do believe, yes, he may have influenced some killers to do what they did as well. In the movie, like you see a few of them that they said, "Oh yeah, like you was my inspiration" and certain stuff like that. The messed up and disturbing thing about it was, I would say about Ed Gaines, the monster, was that how none of his victims got rest, but he got to rest. They took away his headstone. They did a lot. Um, he inspired things like Normal Bates, because Normal Bates was represented in the movie. Um, the the thingy massacre, the what's it, chainsaw massacre. There is certain aspects of the movie, and you just think, damn, like I mean, even I think the Normal Bates one was more relatable because he was like he was hearing his mom and stuff like that. Then later on, when they took away his little what's he call it comfort in the movie. I'm sure it wasn't like that. Maybe it was like that in real life, where they gave him a tablet, which took away the hallucinations, which took away him hearing his mother's voice and and inciting him how to unalive these people, what to make them out of, what to do to them. I think the saddest part of the movie was when the detective discovered that his mother was one of the victims, and it's like he was traumatized by it. Even like they're sitting for dinner, and then you see they're cutting the dinner, and you see him have a vision of his mother on the table because he still didn't get past the fact that how his mother was one of the victims and how she was, cut up and stuff. Um, Ed, Ed Gaines, though softly spoken once again, because like they said, quietest person in the room. Sometimes could be the deadliest person in the room. He also reminds me of Jeffrey Adama in a lot of ways too, because um, I think not true because of what happened with his parents, and just that how right certain stuff where like he was left on his own, and he sort of had this secret life on certain stuff that he kept. Right, so when I researched most of the movie, they said that how the lady that was assumed to be his wife or girlfriend, whatever, was not real. Or well, I'll go look into it. You know what I mean? You know what I do. But it's just like even after I watched it, I went over to certain platforms and they was making pie faces and all this. I was so sickened by it. I just didn't think that how that's something that you should big up or something you should relate to or something you should um um what you call it, put in high esteem, because he was literally a killer, serial killer, that and he shouldn't have this much influence on anybody. The sad fact of the matter of all this is that how he got a chance to to pass away peacefully when none of his victims didn't even have that chance. Now it always comes down to the victims and all that stuff, because I sometimes feel that how that as much as we indulge in crime and stuff like that, crime content, but it's just like in this you can see that how there is a zeal for what this man was doing to people. And um fair enough, right, they did a movie. I mean, it's a weird movie. It was a weird series. There was only like short, I think it's like 8 episodes and all. But it's like um the fascination with the Holocaust was one totally crazy. Where like he thought he found a lady, but the thing wasn't even connected. And and I feel in there they did show a lot of like war crimes being war crimes that happened, how they would treat the people, um, how they would look at them, and lower than whatever. And in the movie, there was a lot of fascination for that. It's just like crazy, but it was a very disturbing film, very disturbing to such a level. Um, necrophilia came up in it. It's just like you can literally um put your mind put your put your mind or put yourself in that time. But none of the people, I feel, because I don't think they even was able to find half the limbs and stuff that he cut up. Then they buried him with his victims, which I thought was a bit disgraceful. Why would you bury someone who unalived the people with the people that was his victims? I just thought that's such a sick mind. That's so sick. Being the house was a small countryside space. Now, you can go. Like I recommend you go and see it, but he's very sick. He's very sick and demented, in all sorts of fashion. It's just environment has a lot to do with how people think and how people feel. And as much as he was very quiet, he was very smart at a lot of things. Even to outsmart the nurse and all that. I mean, the actor who played him very well. He said that how he had to go to the cemetery where he was buried to go and send back the spirit of the of Ed back to where he came from, because he felt that he took on the whole spirit of his whole identity, his whole personality. And I feel that in a lot of these movies, when they do certain movies like this, I'm sure they take on the spirits of the people, the spirits of what they done, and it's crazy. But anyways, I'm not gonna prolong this. Like, it's gonna be short like the last one. I just thought I'd do a real quick review because it's just demented. I'm just like, yeah, it's a very demented movie. Very demented, very dark. So I'll repeat, disturbing in all levels, all levels. There's not one level I can even tone it down to. But yeah, I'm gonna come off. I'll see you later.